I want to talk to you about one of the most powerful tools that a nonprofit can use, and that is social media. Welcome to the Legacy Leadership Podcast, where we focus on helping Christian, founder led nonprofits get funded so that you can lead well, live whole, and leave a legacy. Why is social media such a great tool for nonprofits? Well, one of the main reasons why it's so impactful and so effective for utilizing is that you can talk to a lot of people with very little resources. You can communicate with a wide audience without having to travel from one place to another without having to put gas in your car or spend the time driving. That in just one post, you can talk to 20, 30, 100, 500, 1,000 plus people. I find that when I use social media, it is the opportunity to present in front of many people very quickly without a lot of investment. Sometimes people get discouraged when they spend all this time recording a video and they post it and only 10 people see it. And I want to encourage you to think about this a little bit differently because you would go and present to a small group at a church. You would talk to a mission committee or maybe a small Bible study and present your mission and your vision, what it is that you're doing. And you would ask that group of people to support the work that you're doing. When you have 10 people view a video, it's no different than presenting to a small group of people. When you have 50 to 100 views on a video, it's the same as being able to speak in front of a small church. When you have 500 views to 1,000 views, I like to picture that I just had this small auditorium of people that all heard my presentation. When I start getting into thousands of views, it's a small stadium. And if I go viral, I'm speaking to a stadium full of people and I'm sharing my message, all from my office, my living room, my backyard, wherever you might do your presentation. Maybe it's on the mission field and you're there at your school, at your learning center, at your hospital, whatever you do for a ministry, you're there in that space and you're able to show people without them having to travel to you. You can show them what it is that you're doing. It allows you to introduce people to your program participants, your success stories, be presented to in all these different ways to be able to have many touch points with very little investment. One of the things that we found over the years in marketing, previous to social media and just the inundation of information, we used to say that it took around 7 touch points before somebody would make a decision to act. Might take 7 times. I'm putting up four fingers. I don't really know why. If you're listening, then now you're led into me putting up four fingers. It takes 7 touch points to be able to get somebody to make a decision to act. That might mean that I'd make one phone call or I saw them at an in-person presentation. Maybe they come by a booth that I'm at a missions fair and they see my table and they walk by it every single day of this 3-day conference. It might take a smile, it might take handing them a flyer, it might take them going and getting an email in between, whatever it might be, right? 7 touch points to be able to get somebody to decide to take an action. Now they say that it's as many as 20 to 30 times that somebody needs to engage with you or have some kind of a touch point before they decide to act. Before somebody decides to sponsor a child or to help you advance whatever it is in your ministry, before they decide to attend a conference or to do a volunteer day, they might have to have 20 to 30 different touch points before they engage. And social media is a great way to build those touch points quickly. That as you post regularly and your audience is seeing what you're putting out there, every one of those engagements, every like, every view, every swiping through your story and recognizing your brand, your picture, your mission is a point for them to engage. It's an opportunity for them to be able to take action to have a deeper relationship with your organization. That's why social media is so impactful. We're able to stay in front of our donors, stay in front of our partners more regularly, so that when we go and make an ask, they already feel like they have a relationship with us. They know us, they trust us. I found for social media, again, one of the discouraging things that many leaders run into is they put a lot of effort and energy into creating a post or writing a post, and they put all this energy into trying to say all the right things, and they put so much investment into creating a video, and then they don't get a lot of results from it. They might have some people view it, but it doesn't turn into donations. And they start to wonder if it's worth the investment at all. I remember one of the first times that I really used social media to engage our partners was after the earthquake in Haiti. Some of you might remember the 2010 earthquake. There was 280,000 people that died in that earthquake. And I was on the ground with 37 people. There was a team of us that were there when the earthquake hit, and we were right in the middle of buildings toppling down, falling all around us. And we knew that we were going to be some of the best people to tell the story of what was happening, to be able to find support and to speak up for the Haitian people, to be able to share the desperation of what they were going through. And I truly believed at that point in time that social media was one of the best ways to get the message out there as quickly as possible. And so we took videos and pictures, spent time thinking about what was it that we wanted to present. We took the time to plan. We figured out that people would need new houses and some people would need food. We needed to focus on sanitation, all these different aspects of what was needed to respond. And we created this presentation that we were putting out on social media, and we believed that we were going to get this amazing response, that people were going to respond. We were going to be able to go and build all these houses. And we did this post. It was a great presentation and a video, and it got just a little bit of interaction. It didn't get the, millions of dollars coming in that I was hoping for. And we were looking at these other organizations that were much larger than us, and they were doing similar things, and we were trying to replicate what we saw them doing, but we weren't getting anywhere near the results that they were getting in response. What I learned through that was that we couldn't just post once and have a whole bunch of people respond. We couldn't wait until we needed the money to come in and start a campaign and assume that people were even going to see our posts. The posts that you put out there, on average, only about 2% of your audience will see something you post. That means that if you have 100 people that are following your organization and you post something, only around two of them will actually see what you post. If you have 1,000 followers on your Facebook page, for example, and you make a post, only 20 people will actually see that on average, unless you're putting in some good social media principles. Only 20 people will see that post show up in their newsfeed if people aren't going and looking specifically at your page. And so what I learned in this process with the earthquake to Haiti was how incredibly important it was to build our audience, to build our presence, to engage and interact in ways that boosted the algorithm, that the algorithm of whatever social media platform wanted to give us more reach, because we were engaging in the right ways leading up to making that ask. And so I dove in and I learned all these different principles about how to manage social media well, how to use it effectively, what were the important things to be able to expand our reach. And 6 years later, Hurricane Matthew hit in Haiti, another devastation that hit the same people group again. It seems like they're constantly being hit over and over, and it wasn't long before we had another big disaster. And the difference in this disaster is that I had spent 6 years building our online presence, being consistent, putting out videos and posts, engaging with people, and when we went and made that ask, we had a tremendous response. In 2021, there was an earthquake. This is now 11 years after after the original earthquake, and I was able to put out a post and in hours got the results of what we needed between one email and one post. We had all the money that we had planned for to come in and do the response to that earthquake. But it was because of the investment that we made into good principles that allowed us to be able to do that. And so I want to share a couple of things with you today that will help your social media gain the reach and engagement that you want so that when you do have a need, you're able to make a post and get the response that you desire. The first thing is consistency. Consistency is one of the most important things when it comes to an online presence, when it comes to social media engagement, that when you can post consistently, the algorithm starts to learn your posting style, your posting rhythm, and then it can direct the people to see your posts and see your information that the algorithm knows will want to engage with it. When you post inconsistently, it's very difficult for the algorithm to know who to show your information to. And so consistently posting is incredibly important. I find that it takes about 6 months of consistently posting before you begin to see regular results. The results that you're seeing today are based on what you did 6 months ago. And so the best time to start is right now. Start posting consistently. Find a posting schedule that you can follow and that you know you can be consistent with. If you know you can only be consistent with one post a week, then only do one a week. If you can be consistent with three, then do three. If you can get up to seven, do a post every single day. But more than the amount of posting or the quality of posting, the more important is the consistency. Even if it's less quality, it's more important to be consistent. And so I often tell people that done is better than perfect. I see so many organizations get worked up about wanting to have the perfect reel, the perfect video, making sure they have the best looking pictures, or they've gone through an entire editing process to be able to post something written. Done is better than perfect. Consistency is one of the most important aspects of getting more engagement and interaction on your social media platforms. The other thing that you want to focus on is variety. You don't want to post the exact same thing over and over and over. You will not get the engagement from your audience when you're posting too many things that are similar. You want to have a variety of things that people can engage with. Might be an engagement post using a color block to ask some kind of question that will engage your audience. You can have written posts with a picture, that you could have something written that tells about your organization. Maybe it tells about the specific area that you're working in. Like for me, when I was working in Albania, maybe I could write a little bit about Albania to tell people what was going on in the country at that point. And then I could post a picture. Now, when you do a written post with a picture, just pick one picture. Don't post 56 different pictures, post one high quality picture. And the best pictures are the ones with people's faces. people smiling, people engaging, where you can feel the emotion through the picture of just one, two, three small group of people that have some emotional reaction or look in their picture. Other posts are reels. Reels are a great way to engage new audiences. That when you post a reel, oftentimes it's one of the posts that social media will allow other people who aren't in your audience to be able to see. On some platforms, you can post carousels. That's where you can do multiple pictures. It's designed, like on Instagram, to be able to engage with multiple images. Some of this is knowing the right platforms and what each platform engages with, but there's some general rules, and one of them is just to have some variety on your posts. You could do a video. You could go live on your page and just share with people about what's going on in your organization. Maybe you go live from one of your programs and you can just have your phone out and introduce them to some different program participants. You could do a tour around your space. Consistency and variety. Two things that you could focus on as you look to grow and expand your social media reach. But again, the big thing I want to leave you with is to start now. Don't wait until you have a need and then try to post and get a response. Start today.